Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. How you think about money and your beliefs that surround money are ultimately going to form your relationship that you have with your finances. And how you think about money is ultimately going to impact your income earning potential as well as how you build wealth over time. And predominantly, there are 10 money mindsets. But with that being said, I don't think anyone has a single money mindset. I think we all have bits and pieces of these different mindsets, and we kind of ebb and flow through them depending on our life circumstances. You know the movie Inside Out and how they display that we have all these different emotions in our brains, and at different times we have different emotions in the driver's seat? That's kind of how I think about these money mindsets. We're capable of all of them, but at any given time, I think we have a predominant one or two that are in the driver's seat. The scarcity mindset really centers around the belief that there's a limited amount of money available. With this kind of mindset, there's a tendency to focus on what's lacking rather than abundance, and there's an inability to think that money can be saved or built over time. The overarching theme here is fear. Fear of not having enough money, and that can lead to hoarding money or just a general reluctance to spend money at all. For individuals with this type of mindset, money can end up being a significant source of stress if you always feel like you don't have enough. If taken to the extreme, this mindset can have a really negative impact on your life, because if you're not willing to spend money, you're not using money to its full potential. Money is simply a tool that you should use to build the life you want, whether that's spending on things you want or experiences that you want. Money in and of itself should not be the ultimate goal. And I genuinely think I fell into this scarcity mindset when I was younger, and that led me to being an aggressive super saver, at some point saving 95% or more of my income. And I certainly don't think that's the healthiest approach. Next up, we have the abundance mindset. And this really is the belief that there's an abundance of opportunities and wealth in the world, focusing on opportunities and potential for financial growth. People with an abundance mindset are often incredibly generous and willing to share and spend without fear of scarcity. They have the belief that they can always make more money. This is really the counterpoint to the scarcity mindset, and arguably a much healthier mindset. Although it's important to note that nothing should be taken to the extreme, because if you take the abundance mentality to the extreme and you think you can always simply make more money, that might lead to you not saving for today or investing for your future. So absolutely, I think a much greater headspace to be in is the abundance headspace. But with that being said, you still want to have good financial habits, and you still want to make sure that you're setting aside a small piece for savings and investments. Next is a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset with finance is really like a fixed mindset with anything else. It's looking at financial success or intelligence or something like that as an innate trait. You either have it or you don't. Someone with this mentality might avoid taking on risk or have difficulty adapting to changes in their financial circumstances, simply feeling like everything is beyond their control. This is really in psychology what they call the external locus of control, where you believe that everything that happens to you is the result of luck or fate, what have you, some external force. If someone gets stuck in this kind of mindset, they might think along the lines of, well, if I'm in debt today, I'm just going to forever be in debt. There's nothing I can do to get out of it. Or they might just have a general sense of, there's nothing I can really do to improve my financial situation. It simply is what it is. This is also the kind of mindset where you tend to hear comments like, oh, the rich just inherited all their wealth. They didn't work for it. But in reality, depending on the study you look at, the stats show that anywhere from 70 to 80+% of millionaires are self-made. And that stat alone should help inspire you to know that there's a lot you can do to improve your financial situation. Now, opposed to the fixed mindset is a growth mindset, the belief that financial success comes through learning and effort, being able to embrace challenges and seeing failures as opportunities for growth, constantly seeking out learning new financial skills. Now, of course, we all have different levels of advantages and disadvantages in life, but I really think a growth mindset is about acknowledging that we can do better, that we can build something better. And I think having a growth mindset goes a long way to helping improve your finances. It's feeling like you have that control. It's very hard to make improvements if you feel like everything is outside your realm of influence. The amount of financial information available nowadays is truly astounding. If you're willing to seek out this information and apply it to your life, I truly feel like your opportunities are endless. Next up, we have the consumer mindset, where one might prioritize material possessions and a lavish lifestyle over setting aside something for savings and investments. This kind of life can lead to a tendency of accumulating debt because that urge to spend on immediate gratification. And ultimately, long term, that could lead to financial stress from overspending. I think when we speak about the typical American consumer, someone being overextended with high levels of debt or a lack of savings for their future, a lack of investment, this is the kind of mindset we're speaking to. And I think it's an easy mindset to fall into. The mindset of I want it now, the mindset of playing the game of keeping up with the Joneses and lifestyle inflation. Leading with this kind of mindset generally leaves you with a house full of stuff and a bank account that's ill-prepared for financial independence, let alone a simple emergency. And on the flip side, we have the saver mindset. Here, one would put a strong emphasis on saving money and avoiding debt. Someone with a strong saver mindset may find it very difficult to spend on non-essential items and be focused on building a financial safety net for the future. Building up a safety net for the future is amazing, and we should all have an emergency fund. But if you take this mindset to the extreme and you are hardly willing to spend on anything ever, that's not ideal either. Remember, money is a tool meant to help you live the life that you want. Money in itself should not be the goal. And if you're constantly saving for someday and not willing to spend at all on enjoying today, well, that's not much of a life either. Closely related to the previous categories, we have the debtor mindset. Someone with a debtor mindset would be very comfortable with the idea of borrowing money for various needs. Perhaps they may end up even struggling to manage their growing debt levels. This kind of mindset comes from prioritizing short-term desires over long-term financial health. In a healthy debtor mindset, there might be a situation where a person has a mortgage and an auto loan that's well within their means and they can cover those expenses, and maybe they're quite comfortable paying those off. But in an unhealthy situation, maybe this person also takes on consumer debt and has credit card debt, and they don't pay their balance off in full, and they end up paying high interest rates on a regular basis. I recently watched Graham Stephan ask a number of people the question, if you had the opportunity to borrow $1 billion at a 0% interest rate, would you do it? And I found this question particularly interesting because I think it speaks to the debtor mindset. Graham said his take was, of course, why would you not do it? You could take that money, park it in a high-yield savings account or a CD, get 5% interest on the money, you'd be set. Some of the other people he asked unequivocally answered no, there's simply too much risk associated with that. When I first heard this question, my immediate response was absolutely not. That level of debt would stress me out so much, I would never sleep again, even at 0%. I took it to my husband, and his response was the same as Graham Stephan. He said, of course I would take it. I would park it in a high-yield savings or a CD, and I'd get that 5% interest. I'd kick back and relax after that. So I'm curious, if you had the opportunity to borrow $1 billion at a 0% interest rate for, say, 5 years or 10 years, would you do it? Leave your thoughts in a comment down below because I'm actually really curious. For me, it's a hard no. Next, we have the investor mindset, looking at money as a tool for generating more money. Someone with this kind of mindset is willing to take calculated risk for potential long-term gains. They place an emphasis on building wealth through strategic investments. These are your people who are advocates for investing in the stock market. And I say investing because there's a clear difference between investing for the long haul and, say, day trading and speculation. These are your long-term investors. These are the people who are contributing a small amount from each and every paycheck to, say, an index fund. And when they do this, they take on a little bit of risk. Risk that the market will have a level of volatility, but also the belief that over time the market will go up. And if you truly want to win with your finances, we all have to develop a little bit of an investor mindset because it's very hard to build wealth on your income and your salary alone. At some point, you have to take your money and put your money to work making money. Next, we have the fearful mindset, where one might constantly worry about financial security, leading to completely avoiding making financial decisions because of the fear of making the wrong decision. This fear might even go so deep that someone may not trust financial institutions. When taken to the extreme, someone in this position may not even trust the banking system, not willing to put their money in a traditional bank, or so fearful that they won't invest in anything like the stock market. only keeping their funds in cash-like accounts. And this can be equally damaging because if you're not investing, you're actually losing purchasing power every single year because of inflation. And really, many people in this situation kind of just end up frozen, unable to make a decision that will progress them forward. And finally, we have the empowered mindset, one who feels in control of their financial decisions and outcomes, feeling confident that they can navigate and overcome financial challenges and take a proactive approach to financial planning and setting goals. Obviously, I think this is one of the most powerful mindsets you can have when it comes to taking control of your finances and building a brighter financial future. Ultimately, this is my goal with the vast majority of the content that I create on this channel, is that you feel like you can be empowered to make decisions when it comes to your own finances. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to care about your money more than you do. So you want to set yourself up so you're in a position where you can confidently make decisions about your finances. You might notice that each of these mindsets tends to have an opposing mindset, as in they tend to exist on a spectrum. And as with most things in life, we probably fall somewhere on the spectrum. And it might ebb and flow depending on where we are in life, our past experiences, our education, and our relationships. But ultimately, working on a healthy mindset is going to be a lifelong endeavor. We have to identify our weak points and our limiting beliefs and course correct wherever applicable and get towards a more positive state. What do you think are your dominant money mindsets? Leave your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.